But excuse me, where can I get myself a drink?
Okay, we're on time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast, Lifting Your Spirits. So, essentially, what this is in a nutshell is I have been a barkeeper for a very, very long time, and it's so great having you three in the front row. By the way, I'm trying to look past, and I'm going to have to look at you. These are these are three of my best friends, and they've come to support. So it's very strange doing that. Thank you to kind of just look you in the eye but it's going to happen. So I've been a barkeeper for a very long time, and what I love to do is basically to teach people how to make cocktails. Essentially, I think there's a bit of an illusion in cocktails where it can be problematic or confusing or overly complex, and it is not. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to make a cocktail, and then I'm going to invite a guest to sit with me, and we're going to have a little back and forth, a little kind of interview as such. What I think differentiates, or what I like to think differentiates this podcast from other podcasts, is that I'm kind of just interested in other people's stories. There's no real kind of structure behind it. There's no real intent, there's no big question, what is, why this, etc. It's just, I want to get to know you. Let's talk. We're both walking the face of the world. It's very complicated and confusing for the most part. I want to know about you. I want to know about your story, and I want you to know about my story, because that's the best thing about life, is just each other. Everything else is very confusing and problematic, and each other is brilliant. So that's usually what I do in my podcasts, and I have multiple of them online, so you can go and check them out. So without further ado, I'm going to make a cocktail. Now what I have here is a little collection of stuff, and I'm going to talk you through very basically about sours. Okay, the sour cocktail, very, very common, and I think very misunderstood cocktail. And it's a very versatile cocktail. And what that means is that you can basically go rogue with it. You can go crazy with it, as long as you know, like basically 3 elements of the sour. You can go mental, and you can create so many different sours. So the most common one I'd say that we all think is the whiskey sour. I'm sure we've all had a lovely whiskey sour. I'm sure we've all had terrible whiskey sours. And essentially, you can go. You can have a gin sour, a tequila sour, a mezcal sour. You can have a vodka sour. You can have Campari sour, Aperol sour. You can have an amaretto sour, which is fantastic. You can also have a frangelico sour. Is anyone familiar with the liqueur frangelico here? Yeah. Yeah. It is nutty. It's a nutty liqueur, and it's essentially a kind of something that I think people brought to a party in like 1982 and just left it there. And it was one of those things that would get brought out at a house party after 5 years of being in the cupboard, and it would still taste amazing. And it's a rich nutty liqueur. And if you ever see it in a bar, you won't see it in any like modern bars. You will see it in like proper old German kneipas. I don't know if they'll make you a sour, but once you know how to make a sour, you can tell them to make you a frangelico sour, because I believe that that's one of the best of all the sours. But what I'm going to show you today is my version of a sour. And a sour essentially contains 4 elements, right? 3 to 4. You need your booze, which is going to be, in this case, gin. You need citrus, which is going to be your limes. And then you need a sugar element, in which case it's going to be a homemade beetroot and thyme sugar syrup. So it's like a kind of beetroot version of a gin sour. And then optional is egg white or aquafaba. And if you don't know what aquafaba is essentially the juice from chickpeas, right? So it's a very good substitute for egg white. It's vegan and healthy and beautiful, and everyone loves it. So I'm going to start with my gin. So I'm going to make just 3 cocktails. I'm not sure if people were confused when I was saying about a cocktail show. I'm not sure if you think you're getting a cocktail. I kind of just want to show you how to make a cocktail. I know that seems really bad right now, but that's no. I mean, you're sitting there with your coffee, so I don't know. You don't seem like the 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday drinker types. I'm just saying. I'm not judging too harshly. So I'm going to make this going to be a little tiny bit awkward just now. So bear with me. It's rare that we make cocktails sitting down, but I'm going to try my best. And I only have 3 glasses, and that is for my guest. One is for my guest, one is for me, and one is for my producer. I have a producer for the show. It's that's how it's done. So, one of the things that's very important, I think, in a cocktail, but less so with a sour. As I said, it's very versatile, are the measurements of something. So I always go 50 mils or 60 mils of the spirit. Whatever you choose, 50 mils, you're not going to go wrong. And then we want to go equal parts citrus and sugar, right? Whatever your sugar and citrus is going to be. So I always go 30 mils. But we're making 2 in the one shaker, so we double up. And you'll notice that I'm using what's called a jigger. A lot of barkeepers use this. I find it extremely useful. It basically is there to just measure your to just measure the liquid of your cocktail. I know that seems very simple, but it's actually got a broader purpose, and that is to make sure that your cocktails are consistent, right? There's nothing worse than going to a bar and you ask for a whiskey sour, and then you enjoy that whiskey sour, and then you go back for a second whiskey sour, and it's made differently. That's very unprofessional. It's very awkward doing this sitting down, but it's hilarious at the same time. So I like to measure things in general. That sounded weirder than it had to. But to be honest, I'm going to blame you guys for that, because you went there, not me. So we're nearly there. And you get approximately, by the way, from a half a lime, you get approximately 15 mils to 20 mils of liquid. So this is what I'm measuring it with. Just have to put one more in my double cocktail, and then we're good to shake. And by the way, I would also like to encourage anyone at any point, even though this is a podcast and a live recording, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask. Okay, so nearly there. The last element of this is going to be my aquafaba. And with this, you can be kind of less so specific. You kind of just want to put like a small dash of each in. And because I'm a bit of an alcoholic, I'm not just going to stick with the gin. I'm going to stick with a little bit of vermouth as well. Unmeasured. So, now we're going to get ready to shake. And then we're going to get our guest on stage. It's weird, isn't it? I just look so creepy. I look like I should be I look like I'm on a bus. Look like I'm on the U-Bahn just making cocktails. Okay, so we're nearly there. What else do we need? Where's that going? That's going to go in... yeah, we're going to wait. So, we're going to shake first. Okay. And, yeah, the kind of the foam, the aquafaba foams up the drink. Oh, my goodness. It foams up the drink, and it gives it this consistency, a kind of viscosity. And it helps with something that we cocktail barkeepers call mouthfeel. which is a very, again, euphemistic term, but it's an important part of a cocktail, actually, where not only is the taste, not only is it important for something to taste good, it's important for something to feel good in your mouth. And, okay, here we go. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh my God, too many wee things here. Where did I put? Oh, yeah, it's here. So, but also the aesthetics of a drink. A drink has to look good. It's why people buy a drink, you know. Like when you work in the bar industry, one of the things about cocktails is that it should look really good, so that when you're walking past all your tables and all of these drinks are on a tray, people look at it and they go, oh, I want that. Okay, we're nearly there. This is great for podcasting, isn't it? Visual stimulation. I've done it all wrong, guys. I've done it all wrong. So there we go. Fantastic. Got enough just to top that up a little bit. And there we have it. We have the beetroot and thyme sour that now you can make on your own at home. So I would like to invite my guest to the stage to hear his story and his life and how we know each other and stuff. And me and Jonathan go way back. Please welcome Jonathan Rayleigh to the stage. So this is for my guest.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'm going to squeeze over and give you that. It's producer. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean that to look as rude as what it does, is to just us having a drink. I'm very happy you're here. So cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Gin cocktails in the afternoon.
Gin cocktails in the afternoon. You too.
Colonial.
Yeah, very colonial. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah, dry. Dry and sweet at the same time. Sharp citrus. You should be getting the booze. You should be, like, some citrus should be at the back of the mouth. A little bit of sweetness at the front of the mouth. And that's generally how all your sours should kind of taste.
Yeah, it's not overly sour.
No, it's not.
It's well balanced. You know?
Yeah. So, John, oh man, I'd like to kind of introduce ourselves to our audience who are maybe thinking, you know, why are we interested in these two people?
That was your first guest on your first of these podcasts.
So this Lifting Your Spirits podcast was a kind of pet project over the pandemic when, you know, I'm a barkeeper and also a stand-up comedian. That's how I kind of make my money. That's what I do in life. So those two industries, boom, like shut down. So I had to kind of remain creative, and who else but to keep my creativity up is kind of you. Yeah. To be honest, well, you're responsible for a lot of it because Jonathan and I go way back. You were actually really genuinely one of the first people that I ever met in Berlin. Yep, straight off the bus with a little sign, Chris Davis, cocktails, learn cocktails. And yeah, 14 years ago when I came to Berlin, you're here now for 16. Yeah. You know, we start.
I was like, I know this city. I've been here for 2 years. I know all the bars.
Yeah, Jono could speak German after 2 years. I was like astonished at this. I was like, oh, he's like a you know, like a veteran. And we started working in this Irish pub together. And we met a lot of people there, to be honest, and we kind of like remained friends ever since. One of the, like, I think this kind of sums you up as a person. One of the first things I can remember about you is you offered me your pasta that you had taken to work because, you know, on your first night in a new place, you don't really know.
Anybody want some pasta, by the way?
You don't really know, where to have your lunch or where to have your break or something. And obviously, I didn't really bring any food. And you said, "Here, have my pasta," and I was like, "Good guy, I'm going to keep him." So yeah, and then ever since, man, that's been it. So, but I kind of wanted to just touch upon the fact that not only have we known each other for a long time, we're going to go through some stories, I guess, that we've got. But is there anything in particular that you can pinpoint or anything in particular that you can pinpoint of our memories? What shared experiences have we had? We'd busk a lot.
Right.
We'd go out busking a lot.
We used to have a band.
We used to have a band.
The only band I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Those years, the band years.
The band years.
Yeah. What were we called?
We were called. I'll just take the microphone a little bit closer to your. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. What were we called? We were called What We Are.
Yeah, What We Are, because we are what we are, and take it or leave it. And we did about 3 gigs.
Yeah.
One of them was a wedding that was kind of doomed. We cursed a wedding.
We did. We cursed a wedding.
They were divorced a year later.
We.
It was a joke. It was a joke, but I feel like we cursed it.
I think we cursed it.
Because they said, "Hey, would you like to play at our wedding?" And we said, "Yeah, sure. What should we play?" They said, "Anything. You decide." And I said, "Let's do fucking anti-love songs. Let's do like Caught in a Trap, Can't Walk It."
We did. We done.
Release me, let me go.
We literally sang that at a wedding.
And it was a joke, and our mate, the groom, got it, and he was like, "That's hilarious." And she kind of got it too, but her parents were like, "This is completely inappropriate. This is not wedding music. These are anti-love songs." And we were just playing and looking around, and we could see the faces, and we knew then it was a bad idea.
Yeah, but when you're in the middle of like a C chord, it's difficult to stop.
Exactly.
You need to keep going.
But we did, Blur, Tender, and that was good.
Tender is the love.
That is.
Tender is the
we
love.
finished with that one, so it was like, "Oh, look, we're only joking, You're gonna be great." Tender is the love.
The love I love the most, yeah. And then we went back to the house party or after party. They had like the reception at their house in the garden, and they asked us to do the same songs again. I remember playing it again, almost as if there was like a kind of disgruntled ex-lover or something that was just whispering in our ears, like, "Go play those songs again," and it just to kind of set something in motion,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it wasn't to be that relationship.
It wasn't to be, but such is life.
It was a nice day, though.
It was a nice day for us. We got some free food. Is your mic on? I don't think his mic's on, man. Yeah, I'm a lot louder. I think I'm a lot louder. I'm coming through the speakers basically, no. So.
Hello, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Is my mic on? Can you hear? Is my mic on?
Your mic sounds louder now.
Mine's yeah. I think you've definitely put mine's up.
I didn't touch yours at all.
You didn't touch mine at all.
So this is my mic.
Yeah, yours definitely not on.
My mic is not on. Is it now? I think it's on now a little bit.
It's not on. I mean, this is a mic that's on. You talk.
Yeah. Hello.
No, that's not a mic that's on. He's agreeing. She's agreeing.
It's not a mic that's on indeed.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's no worries. I'm going to continue, obviously, but maybe if one of the tech people can come down and just switch it on, that'd be great.
Try it again.
Yeah, 1, 2. Oh, now it's on. There we go.
That's
Okay.
what we're after.
How long have you been speaking?
We've only been doing this together for 5 minutes, so we're all right. We're
Okay, good, 'cause
15.
If it was muted, if it wasn't going through there, it's a chance that it didn't catch on the recording.
It's not recording. So let's just cut in here and
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's start again.
No way.
No way.
No. But we just told a great story. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, we start. We just
Just
continue.
imagine
man.
it.
That's how it
If you're
goes.
listening.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. So, it's a bit loud now. Okay, we can move them back a little bit there. Yeah, because we don't want to deafen the
Yeah,
people.
1, 2. Here
We just want a good sound. That's it. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just keep it. I knew your mic wasn't on, man. I was like, this is stuff fucking just talking about here. Okay, so busking stories and destroying relationships.
Oh well.
If you've just tuned
They
in,
go hand in hand, don't they?
I mean, what a great line for anyone who's just tuned in. This is technically the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about. So we used to be in a band called What We Are, and another story that we had when we were busking together. We were outside Hackisher Markt, And you remember this, man, where basically I was playing guitar and you were playing the ukulele, and we had a kazoo,
Oh yeah, the gold mine.
the gold mine.
Yeah.
Everyone loved the kazoo.
Well, not everyone.
And we were sitting outside this restaurant, and this guy he was furious that we were busking outside, and he was just trying to enjoy his meal. And he came up and he just went, guys, please stop. And we were like, what? He was like, I'll give you €10 to stop playing the kazoo.
We're like, brilliant. This
Like
thing
you can still like continue like with your playing the guitar and stuff, but the kazoo has to go.
Yeah. And we obliged for about 5 minutes, you know.
We obliged for 5
And
minutes,
then we, hit him up for another 10.
because that's what you got to do.
You know, we're thinking, this city is full of people who hate kazoo. We can travel around playing kazoo and taking bribes to stop playing it all over the city. It's like anti-busking.
It's like anti-busking. It's what we want. And then we one day decided to just go down to Hamburg, didn't we? Like without a plan at all.
Let's hop on a bus. Let's head to Hamburg.
To go busking.
No accommodation planned or anything like that.
No accommodation, nothing.
That was good. That's what the Beatles did, I think.
And look where they are now.
Dead after them.
I mean, what? I mean, at least we're in it's like a rehearsal, like professional music studio place.
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there. I think what we've done 5,000 hours now.
Yeah, 5,000 hours.
5,000,
Let's call it
another-
5,000 hours.
Another 5,000 to
Another
go.
5,000 hours, and we're going to be.
When you
basically
go
the
back,
Beatles.
when I know what I'm going to be. So
So yeah, the trip to Hamburg, that was good, alright. So we just headed down the bus and we said we'll figure it out. We rolled along the guitar and ukulele, and Anton came with us with the tambourine.
Anton was the third piece of the band who's now fighting a war in Ukraine, but that's another story.
Totally, yeah, he was percussion. So we were sitting around Hamburg playing. It was great fun. We ended up in this punk bar.
Yeah, we did.
Well, it was just one bartender in there, this kind of punk place, and he was sound. He was.
Can I just one little thing before that? We're walking the streets. We're busking. It's getting late at night. We're getting drunker and drunker, and this guy is walking home from his work, and he's got like 5 trays of sushi.
Oh yeah.
And he just puts them down in front of us and says, "There you go, guys. Like, good luck."
Just stop playing. Just as long as you stop playing music. Here's 5 trays of sushi. That's like €100 worth of sushi.
And then we ended up in the punk bar.
Yeah, that's true.
And, we didn't have much to offer, but we offered the barkeeper 5 free trays of sushi. And he was like, "I'm not entirely sure about the sushi thing, but I'll try some."
Yeah.
We went in the back. For some reason, we were smoking cigars.
We made it, big time.
We made it big time. We thought, let's smoke cigars. And Jonathan done the awful mistake of inhaling the cigars. Yeah. And it
I
was.
don't know if it was that or the sushi that made me sick, to be honest.
Dude, I have only saw the colour on your face drain immediately twice in life.
Oh, yeah.
One was after inhaling those cigars, and then we just turned around. Me and Anton turned around and we were like, "Dude, are you inhaling that cigar?" And you was like, "I don't feel very well." And we're like, "What are you doing, man?" And the other time is when you ate one of the spiciest chilies in the world, and your face drained. But we will get to that.
Oh, well, yeah, this is what you posted on, to promote this.
To promote the show,
yeah,
I posted.
I
Jonathan,
wasn't passed out.
You weren't passed out, but you were in pain, man. You were in pain. Anyway, we will get to that. So we end up in this punk bar. And the punk guy takes us home. He's like, you don't have a place to stay.
We did ask to go home with him.
That's true.
Because we didn't have anywhere to stay. And he says, "What are you doing in Hamburg tonight?" We said, "Oh yeah, is there anywhere we can sleep?" And he goes, "Fucking well, it's a bit late and you can't just turn up and, get a hostel. It's going to be booked." He said, "Right, tell you what, come back to my place. Just buy a case of beer on the way back and it's all good.
That's
no
right.
more sushi though."
No more sushi.
We're like, "Sushi for breakfast. No more sushi. Get a case of beer. You can crash on my couch. It's all good." Yeah.
Yep. So he was a very kind guy and very patient. And he was super patient, as obviously very kind. And we were a little bit drunk. Anton was surprisingly drunk.
Yeah.
And what happened was, in the middle of the night, we were all crashed out on a couch here, a couch there. Anton actually crashed out in the guy's bed.
Well, the guy, the owner of the house, he got up to go to the toilet. When he came back, Anton was in his bed.
That's right. Yeah.
So he came in to say, "Can you help with this guy?"
So basically, we wake up in the morning. It's time to go. This guy has given us enough attention. Let's go. And Jono goes to put on his shoes, and they're soaking wet, right? It wasn't raining at all in Hamburg.
What happened before that is when the guy woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Look, your friend is completely drunk. He's in my bed. I can't get him out." We had to go and get him out of this guy's bed, and then he just kind of wandered up and down the hallway. And we went back to bed, and then this guy woke us up in the middle of the night and said, "Look, your friend is pissing in the hallway."
Yeah, he's just pissing in the hallway, and we didn't know exactly where or on what. But when we woke up in the morning, it was very clear that it was Jono's shoes.
Yeah. Well, I went out to see him pissing in the hallway, and I saw. Well, he's out there pissing in shoes. Haha, that's really funny. Wait a minute, they're my shoes. They'd filled up.
They had filled up.
They'd both filled up. It was great aim, really. Like.
Yeah. It was perfect. It was almost like the left one was at the brim, and he went, "Well, there's the right one. I'm going to move
full
over."
enough, yeah. Move on to the right one.
So, Jono, I will have this image forever ingrained in my head, where you were just walking through the streets of Hamburg in your socks.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to wear the shoes, quite rightly
Shoes
so.
were straight in the bin.
They were straight in the bin, so you were
straight into the zu verschenken box.
Oh, good old Hamburg, yeah.
The share corner in the flat.
The share
in
corner,
the hallway,
yeah. So, and you were walking, and it did start to rain. The ground was wet, and it was like as you were walking, because your socks were wet, the ends were starting to like go further and further from your toes, so they were kind of flapping and kind of flapping rainwater on your legs.
Everyone's done that somehow. Walk through the rain in your socks. It's a familiar feeling, and they're flapping off you. I don't know.
It's weird. What is it? It's like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I just turned to you and I burst out laughing, man. And you just went, "This isn't fun, man." And then we ended up getting into the city centre. We found a shoe shop for you.
Yeah, Dagman's, yeah.
And you went in and you just picked up shoes. And the girl behind the counter was like, "Do you want a bag for that?" And you're like, "No, it's fine."
She said,
just put them on.
When I came in, she said, "You're not wearing any shoes." I said, "Why do you think I'm here?"
It makes complete sense. It makes
Surely this
complete
has
sense.
happened before.
So yeah, man. So that's a long way away from kind of where we've come now, and I just kind of want to
Look at us now.
look at us now on a podcast.
Shoes and all.
Look at his shoes.
Yeah, quite nice your shoes. You've always had dapper shoes.
Well, I bought these new shoes again. Visual stimulation, bad for radio, but yeah, I've got nice shiny brown shoes on. I've just started a new job lately in the past 6 weeks, and they definitely required new shoes. That's what Bob Dylan says when he's got new shoes on.
New shoes.
New shoes. So
Hey, Bob, why do your feet hurt? New shoes.
I love it. It's honestly it's probably my favourite joke of all time, and it's ridiculous how
Barely makes
simple it
sense,
is.
like,
It's fantastic. I even like Sean, your nephew, the first thing that's what he said to me when I said I've got what do you think of my new shoes, and that's the first thing he said. He was like, new shoes. It's kind of universal now. So yeah, man. I just wanted to briefly mention, just for the people out there, a little bit of promotional thing, that you started your own hot sauce called Crazy Bastard Sauce.
Oh yeah, so I've started this new thing called Crazy Bastard Sauce. I think we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's been going for a while. It's people know it.
Yeah. It's huge success, man, and it's great. And if you're listening to this, or you in the audience, or you don't know what Crazy Bastard Sauce is, it's readily available. I mean, you can just literally Google Crazy Bastard Sauce, and you'll get some delivered to your house.
When I started doing it, and you helped me, and we did it in Nansen, this restaurant that you used to work in,
That's
in
right.
a little 30-litre pot. And I brought chilies down on the back of a bike, and you helped me make it, and we filled it into bottles. And there was like a box of sauce, and I think we went for something to eat somewhere nearby after, and there was people in this little imbus place talking about hot sauces, and you kind of elbowed me and they'd be like, they'll be talking about your sauce now.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
And they are.
And
And now I actually go into places and I overhear people talking about Crazy Bastard Sauce all the time. It's crazy.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So, is there anything kind of that's up and coming with it that's kind of new, or your next venture, or how's it growing? How's it expanding?
Right. Well, we've gone professional now. I've stopped cooking it in my kitchen in the bathroom.
In the bathtub.
Just recently. No, it's been growing. We've got a little factory, a little production space. Of course, the restaurant. A lot of people know the restaurant before they know the sauce, and it's a great way to get to know the sauce, and that's great fun. You know, the weekly changing menus. The sauce is always there. You can put it on the food. This week is Kentucky Fried Week, so we got fried chicken, juicy fried chicken, and vegan version as well.
Yeah.
Some people don't really get that chicken can be juicy, and someone sent back a plate of chicken saying this is too juicy. It's not cooked well. I kind of get where they come from because we're used to chicken being dry and sitting under lights in KFC or whatever for a while. But when you brine it overnight and you use chicken thigh, it's just so juicy. It might even be a little bit pink, but it's cooked. Trust us, it's cooked. We put the thermometer in there and all that. It's so nice. And of course, the vegan version of it is incredible too. So that's this week. Next week is Indonesian food. So the restaurant is fun. That's always changing. The sauce, we're very much just keeping up with demand. We're selling all over Europe, and we've got the factory, the production space there, and it's very efficient. It runs very well. John over here in the front row basically runs
Hi,
the
John.
show.
Hi, yeah.
I'm going to concentrate more on like marketing and stuff, and just let him kind of do what he does so well. And
Yeah, he's a bit of a legend, man, when it comes to that. I'm glad he's in your life. Okay, you needed someone like that in your life.
Changed my life.
Yeah. You were leaning on the rest of us too much, man, to be honest. And I'll have a few people that vouch for that. And we were like, we don't fucking know accounting, Jono. We don't do. He's like, but I just need someone to do my taxes.
I just need someone who can count because it's not me. Like.
Yeah. I just need someone.
Can I borrow a calculator?
Yeah. I just need someone to lean on. So like when John came into the world, like all your friends around you were like, thank God for John.
Yeah.
Thank
There's a
God
lot of
for
things like that. Remember the labelling parties that have you, hey, come round for a labelling party. Everybody can put a bottle of wine on the table and we just sit there for hours labelling bottles.
But the thing, we done that for a while and we were like that, because this is like an up and coming thing, right? So it was like very independent, we were doing it for you and we were all kind of thing. And then it was like, we were all looking at each other going, this is a fucking business now. Like, this isn't just helping you label.
Should have employees.
This isn't just helping you label like 500 bottles, right, with a bottle of wine. I was like, this is slave labor here from like my friend. I have to call this out.
Low-key slave labor.
Low-key slave labor. So that's cool, but it's giving you enough time now to do other things, and you're going to do, what's your next project? You're going to do some art, no? I mean, you've always kind of been an artist in my eyes.
Well, I used to be, but I didn't have time for a long time to do any art. So I studied art, painting, design, and stuff like that. And I was an illustrator and graphic designer for a while. That's how the sauce started off, I guess, because that was a kind of a project where, I made a recipe, a sauce that tasted good, and you actually named it.
This is now official on a podcast now, man. It's out there.
Well, yeah, I made a sauce, and we were doing one of our little weird hustle things.
Yeah.
Selling the
fajita bonitas.
Yeah. And I made a hot sauce to go with it, and then I think the second time I made it, because it was a spicy sauce. You said, "Are you going to make that sauce again? You're going to make that crazy bastard sauce again?" A very natural thing to.
A very natural thing, yeah.
Very normal thing for you to say,
I think it's because at the time, in general, we were calling each other crazy bastards a lot.
Oh,
like
you're
that,
crazy bastard.
like
You're a crazy
that
bastard.
kind of, you're crazy bastard. You're so drunk, you're crazy bastard. And I was like, right, you crazy bastard sauce, and then it kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad it did.
Well, it just took a second to stick, and then I made a logo. So anyway, I used to work as an illustrator designer, but now I'm trying to get back into it. It's been years. It's been about 10 years probably since I did some proper art, apart from some like label design and stuff. So I've given myself a deadline. I've given myself a project. 1st of December, I'm going to have an exhibition in Backhouse Projects.
Shout out to Backhouse Projects.
Backhouse Projects.
Flicks and Scoops, who's also here at the PodFest.
That's the place on Weserstrasse, right beside our restaurant. And I haven't even started. So the pressure is building. No, I have done a few sketches, but I've basically not started. But I have ideas, and it's going to be on the theme of food and how food is in our identity. Food, there's so much stories behind food. We are the country you're from. You identify let's say you're from Italy. It's pasta. It's pasta and tomatoes, but neither of those things are from Italy. So it's about how it's influenced by other countries, and then that becomes your country. It's about how the whole world is connected, and then we're trying to define our own identity within it, and food is used for that a lot. So that's kind of the loose idea. Maybe 10 pieces, something like that.
10 pieces, that's a lot, man.
Well, it's a lot to do in 3 months, and I've done none of it yet.
Let's start with 5. And if you make more, then a bonus.
You know,
Because there's
even
a
if
lot
I
of
do nothing, I could just submit this as the exhibition, me talking about it, and then the exhibition exists in your mind only. That's called
You see,
conceptual art, people.
Yeah. See, we talk about art quite a lot in that kind of conceptual space, and it's very much like, you know, a lot of the time people don't really know what art is, and a lot of people are just like throwing stuff out there and saying you deal with it, like you deal with it. But there are limits.
Yeah, well, limits, you know, within art. So
Well, I know limits within
boundaries
art.
are there
What is
to
it?
be, you know, tested.
Absolutely.
I'm the Marcel Duchamp of Weserstrasse. Let's go. What is art? What is not art? How little can I do and still call it art? That's the challenge.
That is the challenge, right? Okay, fair enough. I mean, you've
you had your little art pop-up piece last year. That was brilliant, actually. Like, you were taking the piss, but it was great.
yeah, we did. I done it with my other half, Gemma, and we came up with the idea together. Well, you know, appropriately being on the piss, and we called the installation it was called Piss Artist, and it was essentially having the decoration and the aesthetics of cocktails on display without the cocktail. So it was this kind of, what does something mean when it's not attached to the element that it should be attached to? What do you make of a little piece of mint on its own when it's not in a mojito? What do you make like of an orange zest when it's not on the side of a cocktail glass? What do you make of this thing called like Campari dust, which is essentially dehydrated Campari, and then you can powder it up and then you can put it on the rim of a glass. And what we done was like we put it into little lines for drug consumption, etc. And it was hints of what else can you do with something when something is not a part of the broader thing that it should be attached to, out of context. What do you make of it? And it was very interesting. It was actually like real pieces of orange zest on display. It was what else did we have? We had the
butterfly
PT, and we had the Campari dust, and we had flowers, just in a like little kind of decorative flowers that would usually be edible flowers that would be on cocktails. And by the way, we got like a huge response. We've still to do the prints.
Oh yeah, I think I bought a print.
You did buy a print, yeah. Which is another side hustle. If you just put on an art exhibition and
charge people for print and say, I'll do that sometime.
I'll do that. I'll send you in a PDF. You can print it off.
Send you in a PDF sometime in the future, distant future.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think food has always been something that's definitely connected us in a way. I mean, not only but as you said before, the fajita bonitas, we were always doing something connected to food. I'd say the Crazy Bastard sauce, the early beginnings of that, definitely brought us closer together. I was always involved in the cocktail, which is a little bit foodie, kind of taste-wise. And then we now have Decadent Bastards Club.
Oh yeah, that's good, isn't it? That's fun.
Decadent Bastards Club is a bi-monthly supper club where we have 4 courses, and each course is paired with a cocktail.
Yeah.
And it's done at Backhouse Projects that we mentioned earlier. Yeah. And
so me, you, Gemma, Basti, we all have our own roles. We do every time on a theme. So it all started with Burns Supper, which is something that we do every year anyway.
Do you know Burns Supper up the back there?
Well, I have burned suppers in my life. I don't know about
You've burnt suppers.
You have suppers that have been overcooked.
Yes.
I see.
And not on my pants, which is even better. So
Not in your pans.
yeah.
There's nothing worse than that, is there? Some bastard coming over and burning their food in your pans.
So it's a tradition that we have. We just make a big supper and burn the hell out of it every year. So Burns Supper, a bit of background to that is it's a traditional Scottish. It's kind of like the national feast day of Scotland in a way, because it's Scotland's national poet, Robert Burns. He's a really prolific poet. He had some he wrote Auld Lang Syne, that you sing at New Year's Eve, and a lot of other well-known things. And to celebrate his life and works on his birthday, the 25th of January or thereabouts, you would have a haggis supper, which would be a dinner, 3-course or 4-course dinner with haggis and all the traditional neeps and tatties.
That's right.
You'd get a little like a sheep's head broth at the beginning, or like a Scotch broth. You
yeah,
know. There's
yeah.
kind of a fixed menu, so we do that every year in some form or another. It's great fun. It's a highlight of my year.
It is, absolutely, man.
And with the Decadent Bastards, that was kind of just like doing that and going, why can't we do this more often? Why is it only in January? Like, if we picked other people to do the same thing with, to celebrate the life and work of other artists or poets or, you know, musicians or famous people, wouldn't that be cool? So far we've done...
Yep, so far we've had... we done Burns, and then we done David Bowie.
Yeah, that was great.
And the last one was Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo, yeah.
Which was really good, man.
That was, yeah.
It was a really classic one.
For the food-wise, that was an easy one because you're going to go Mexican, and she had her own recipes.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got a little bit representative with it. You know, we got, like, I mean, the starter was representing her bus accident where she was impaled by the handle of the bus, and we did that, like, very tastefully with a skewer through a tamale. With a little bit of gold dusted on top, because you know, she was covered in gold dust somehow. This random accident, and there was somebody carrying gold filigree for like gold leafing a statue on the bus, and we tried to recreate it in an edible way.
And it was done tastefully, no pun intended. It was great. It was fantastic. And the next one, I don't know when it's going to be exactly, but we can.
I think we've got a date. I don't have it in my head now, but it's in September because we're kind of taking a summer break with it now, I guess. You've got stuff on. Like, it only works when four of us.
It only works when the four of us are on, man. But the next one's going to be Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolly Parton. It's going to be fantastic.
So I've been researching Dolly Parton. I mean, it's good to have this time in between to research. And speaking of podcasts, there's an excellent podcast called Dolly Parton's America. It's like an 8-part podcast where she's interviewed in most of it. And they're brilliant interviews. She's so witty. She's so sharp. You know?
Aye, big time.
I'm not quite sure yet what the food is going to be, but you know, Tennessee.
Definitely.
She likes to bake. She makes an excellent coconut, like a moist coconut cake that could be kind of a dessert. We'll come up with it. We'll figure it out. But the first thing to do is to really look into Dolly Parton and her life and work and see what happens with it.
Yeah, she's a very zen individual. Yeah. She's a very.
So of course, a big part of the Decadent Bastards is, the decadent part of it mostly is the cocktails. Every course is paired with a cocktail which you make. Yeah. Inspired by, you know, whatever the food is, or inspired by your own inspiration from the person that we're covering. Yeah,
exactly. The last one was kind of Mexico. David Bowie. I went crazy with the David Bowie one. I went a bit too far. I basically just chose the titles of some of his songs and then decided to do cocktails on that. So I done like Fame, which was I used like Danzigwasser or like Goldwasser
with the gold flakes in it,
which is like a grain spirit that's got literally gold flakes inside it. I don't know what the whole point of it is or whatever, but it's I done that, but it just it was a bit too decadent. I thought maybe people were like, what is this? I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's why we can't do it until September. Is one of the things you've got on is your Edinburgh show coming up.
Yeah, I do have my Edinburgh show coming up, man. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that.
I'm gonna go over and see it.
You are?
Yeah, I'll go over for a few days. Yeah. I mean, the Edinburgh Fringe is amazing. Like,
it's it's the cultural highlights of genuinely the world. It's the biggest comedy festival of its kind.
But can you imagine it post-corona? Like, already right now, there's so many things on. It kind of feels like the Edinburgh Fringe just out there in the city. There's so many concerts and there's so many parties on. You can pick up your phone and look up events, and it's just non-stop. And that's kind of what the Edinburgh Fringe is every year. You can get an app that shows you fringe events starting near me in the next half an hour, and it's just like, that doesn't narrow it down.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Within a 5-minute walk, there might be 100 events starting in the next half an hour.
Aye.
Backs of cafes and stuff, like the bars and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's part of the challenge of it when you are there at the festival. Oh, thank you very much. Is that a sign that we should be... Okay, fantastic. It's just a genuine act of kindness. Usually, that's one of the things, a little kind of insight into like performer, kind of the performer world. If someone comes anywhere near the stage at any point, it's a huge sign that something's fucking wrong.
He's just bringing you a bottle of water.
Like something is wrong, and we need to. I'm trying to get your attention so that you can look somewhere else, so that I can then go. There's a fire. There's a fire. I'm trying not to interrupt your podcast, but there's people burning. So, and to be honest, bringing a bottle of water to the stage would be kind of metaphorical for that, no?
Yeah.
Like that could be something. If someone brings you a bottle of water, there's a fire somewhere. Get out.
Here's a water. Save yourself. We're
So-
out of here. Like, yeah.
So yeah, that was nice. But yeah, no, I am doing the festival. It's going to be nice. Getting a bit. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff to do. But I'm looking forward to getting there. And it's just like going to be a hustle. You were talking about having an app to get people, aware of where things are. But like it's got to be the festival is renowned for just flyering. You just got to flyer people. You just got to stand in the street and go, "Hey,
Yeah.
come to my show." Like this is what it's about, and you end up. I mean, it's kind of soul destroying, but equally so soulfully
I bet you
rewarding.
get chatting to a lot of people while you're flying, and
Yeah, but you can't.
You can't.
It's like you can, but you know what it's like? It's like have you ever like come across like a homeless person, right? And they've been asking you for money, and you give them like €1, and then this happened to me once, and then you sit down and you start talking. You're like, "Hey man, like how you doing? Like, have you got like a place to stay, or like what's happening? Can I keep you company? Is there anything I can get you?" And he genuinely like that. Would you mind like walking on, because you're kind of just, I'm not making money when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to do in that
Time is
moment.
money.
Time is money. I was like that. Did you just? I walked away like.
Yeah, fair enough. So you've got a lot of people to hand
So-
flyers to. So anyone you're chatting to,
I'm not handing out flyers.
look, you've got the information. You know where it is now. Fuck
This
it.
is why I'm giving you a flyer, you idiot. Why are you talking to me? Read. No,
Yeah.
it's not about that. But it's just like, here's a quick flyer, and you get your monologue down. You know, this is a show about
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
The lost art of flyering. It's you don't see it much anymore. All right.
But you shouldn't as well,
Neil
because
Numb. If anyone knows Neil Numb, I mean, if you don't know Neil Numb, you know his flyers, because he's like the last person in the world who just believes that flyers everywhere is how you do things. Like in our restaurant, we have these takeaway bags for when someone gets a takeaway. A takeaway comes out, I open up the bag, and one of his flyers is in it. And that's clever, like. But you don't even see him. He just walks in the restaurant. He gets down the box of bags from the shelf that we're going to use someday, opens them all up individually and puts a flyer inside, puts them back in the box and puts them up there. Or maybe he's contacted the factory that makes the bags or something. I don't know. But he's got his tricks.
I would not be surprised if he dresses as a black cat in the dead of night and breaks into said factories and just kind of all over. That's probably why we don't see him. That's probably he's just like constantly. He's like a cat burglar with his bag of flyers, just putting them in random.
And like honestly, I think none of us here have ever been in a public, like a bar toilet in Berlin, where there wasn't one of his stickers.
Oh no, we've seen them everywhere. Cosmic Comedy, by the way, I don't know if you know any of it, but Cosmic Comedy is his thing, and he's also got the Chili Festival as well. Shout out to Neil Numb, getting
Absolutely,
some
shout
free
out to
exposure.
Neil Numb.
Fantastic.
Yeah. The Chili Fest. I mean, that's relevant to me and what I do as well. That's the first weekend of September. It's going to be great. It's in the Berliner Berg Brewery, which is a brilliant space. They've got a nice beer garden at the back. And the way Neil operates generally, and the way he's going with this one, is like it's all out. It's going to be a circus. Like he's actually getting a circus tent, I think. So there's going to be fire jugglers and all sorts.
There's going to be all.
yeah.
There's going to be all sorts, man. There's going to be all
sorts.
sorts. So look, I mean, I don't think we're in any rush here. Is everyone that's present still happy? Anyone wanting to disappear?
We'll have to go because I have a recording too, but
What time is your recording?
in
40
40 minutes.
minutes, fantastic. Okay, look, I mean, if these girls leave at the back, there's no point in us just kind of lingering on. Really for
the host,
our
it's up
for,
to you.
It's fantastic.
for our,
Keep on going.
yeah, but should we? I don't know how to do it. I really want to play you the song. I really want to play you a song that we done. But maybe if you want to continue talking, just for the sake of the podcast, and no one's kicking us off, we can maybe continue conversation.
You're the host. Off you go.
And then I can edit the song in on the podcast to happen at the end or something.
This is the weirdest podcast I've ever been on.
I'm musical until
We
just
saved, like, the editing
just
Meeting for
just
later.
before you have to go, because right. So should we do a wee song?
All right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to move the mics back a wee bit. We don't have the kazoo.
It's gonna cost you.
It was it's going to cost you.
No, we don't have it.
So, so this was our official busking song. This is
Oh yeah, it's about busking actually.
yeah. This is what we it's what we used to play and to get people like and it was from this song that we went. Should we not learn more songs?
Yeah.
So okay, do you want? I've got I've actually got it there. If you need.
I'll just follow your lead, yeah.
Yeah, you've got it. As okay, so let's get this little thing. Professional. Get the band out of the way of the. Okay, so we are
We are what we are. In fairness.
we are what we are. Okay, so. Chorus. Don't know how long I have been a playing out here in the cold and the pouring rain. I suppose I have no time to complain, no, as each day of mine is just the same. Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? 20 if you're feeling generous. Excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? Oh, 20 if you're feeling generous. Feel like getting drunk each and every night. Don't know why, but it just feels so right. Not until I wanna start a fight with you. Reach inside and a question, where's my light? Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? 20 if you're feeling generous. Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? Oh, 20 if you're feeling generous. Don't know how long I have been a playing out here in the cold and the pouring rain. Ain't got no time to complain, no, as each day of mine is just the same. Well, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? Oh, 20 if you're feeling generous. Okay, we're going to get this the last one. Oh, excuse me, can you spare 10 pence? Oh, 20 if you're feeling generous.
We're getting the band back together.
We're getting the band back together. We're getting the band back together, man.
Musical interlude. I like it.
I should have done it a long time ago, actually.
Let's keep going. I want to hear about more about the Fringe if we got time.
I think we do, man. I mean, if you guys are all right hanging out. I mean, I understand if you have to leave. I won't take any offence whatsoever.
You've heard the song now. You can live.
What is your podcast?
It's on room 16.
So, what's it called? And I'll put it out to all my millions of followers.
It's called Loving Against My Instincts.
Loving Against My Instincts.
Intriguing.
Nice. What's it about?
Conscious relationships. How can we be better in relationships?
Brilliant.
Nice. Conscious relationships. How can we be better in relationships? What do you think about? Is this like a good relationshipy kind of vibe podcast? Kind of.
I love this. I think we can all learn a lot from what's been going on.
There you go. Nice.
Yes,
Thank you. I appreciate you coming down. Thank you for that. So, yeah, all right, man. What was you wanted to know?
Well,
more
I
about?
want to know more about like the Fringe. I mean, I know you've done the Fringe before, and I know it's intense. But what's it like this time? How's the preparation going? What's the show like?
So, yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Without going too far back into like history.
Well, what was it like when you did the Fringe last time?
Well, the Fringe last time, I was a much different comedian than what I am now. I was, there was not a lot, really, there was not a lot of depth at all to what I was trying to say and what I was talking about. It was very much kind of shallow, but genuinely really funny kind of social observations.
Supermarket stuff.
Yeah. I mean, to put it
Supermarket
bluntly,
gags,
to put it bluntly, although that supermarket bit was
It is-
amazing.
You've still got it. You've still
It,
got it.
it
in your
was
act.
amazing, man. And like I done like the Scottish Comedian of the Year award, right, back in 2013, and I was a finalist in it, and it was the biggest gig that I've done to date. It was at the Callan Academy, or what is now known the O2 something or other, down in Glasgow, and there was 1,000 people in the audience, man. And I done that supermarket routine.
They got it. Like,
There was 4 applause breaks within
'cause
like
it's kind
within
of,
a
it's kind of about
4
German
minutes.
supermarkets, which
No, but I tailored it to just being about supermarkets in general,
Right.
and it was because but it was just a really good bit, and it was just about one of those things that you every so often as a joke writer you come across something that just clicks with the audience, and it doesn't matter really what audience you're telling it to, they will get it.
relatable. Everybody has to go to the
And
supermarket.
it's called it's visionary, and I don't mean that for a second that I am a visionary. I mean,
Wank.
yeah, I mean that they can visualize very easily what you are trying to convey, and once you get
Visionary
that,
isn't the word, but I can't think what it is.
yeah. But well, I'm right until you can think otherwise, which I always say to everyone
that's
when
true, yeah.
when it's like, but there's that aspect. That was what I was doing back then. Now it's definitely a lot deeper. There's a lot more things going on. It's a journey of where I have been coming from a very working class background, coming from a place called Cumbernauld, which was, to put it into perspective, like voted the worst town in all of the UK. And it's just
Cumbernauld.
You've been there a few times.
Every time I go there, I send you a selfie.
Yeah.
And because it's on the way from Glasgow Airport to the part of Scotland that I visit. And you pass through there, and the bus stops there, and you can just take it in. From the upper floor of a bus, you can just nicely see Cumbernauld and how it works.
Yeah.
And it's this noble idea about never the pedestrian and the car should meet.
Yeah.
The roads are like elevated, or the pedestrians are elevated, which is
Pedestrians elevated, so there's lots of bridges and tunnels. So there's no you never have to cross a road. That
the
was
whole
that was the
city
idea.
or town is like an outdoor supermarket. It's like an outdoor shopping center.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the town center is indoors.
That is, yeah. And it's interesting when as wonderful and as noble as that architectural idea might be, to have pedestrians not come in contact with traffic. There's a weird social and psychological behavioural aspect that is not taken into consideration, which is totally fair enough when it comes to architecture. And that is, if you've got a town of 100,000 people that has many tunnels, it's junkie tunnels.
Yeah.
It's places to hide. Yeah. It's places to be dark and gloomy and dangerous. And you never ever walked through a tunnel at night in Cumbernauld, man. You would cross the road, which defeated the whole purpose.
Exactly, yeah. It's safer to cross the road than to
go through a gang of
pedestrian
4 or
ways,
5 15-year-olds just drinking Buckfast, So it comes out, and that was particularly back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I think it's a very different place now. But that's when I grew up, and that's when a long story short, that's what the new show is about. It's about coming from that place, somewhere like that, and then living in Berlin or Germany for like 14 years, where it's quite a wealthy country, and there's quite a lot of there's a lot of middle classness going on, to be honest. So it's about my journey from that and realizing, looking around me, opening my eyes and going, whoa, I don't know if I belong here, and where I am, especially working in the places that I've worked.
You never quite trusted it really in Germany. You never quite. I mean, when we moved to Germany like 15 years ago, we certainly didn't have money. We weren't like wealthy or anything, but we could work 2 or 3 days a week and live off that because the rent was so cheap, the drinks were so cheap, and working in bars, you just drank for free. You could just go and you knew someone working in a bar, so you could live off almost nothing, and that's a kind of wealth in itself.
Absolutely.
Like, we didn't have to work in supermarkets 5-6 days a week to pay the rent and all that kind of stuff. So
that's why I guess Berlin still holds on true to that kind of the creative element of it. It's a huge creative city, and I think people that are creative come here because it is easy to create. You get the space and the time to create. You can live cheaply. You can do your 3 days a week. That's still possible, by the way, today, just less so. The only thing is, like, when you're an artist in Berlin, you can't really sustain yourself as an artist in Berlin. You're supposed to become an artist in Berlin or hone your talents as an artist in Berlin and then export it. That's what the intelligent artists do, because you can export that and
Nobody
then
in
make
Berlin
money.
buys art.
No, and no one in Berlin really is, like, there's only so much that you can ask your friends and stuff to come to, like a stand-up show, or if you have to export it, you have to tour it, you have to, whatever it is that you're making, you have to export it. Here you have the time to do it, but you have to, someone and somewhere else has to buy it. Yeah. But I think we've done all right. I mean, just like we're pretty much on an hour. I think that's lovely. Look at these two lovely people right here.
Give it up for the audience.
Give it up for the audience. I think we'll maybe close it down there. What do you think?
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think that was wonderful. I'm happy, totally happy with the way that went. That was really, really, really cool. So, thank you so much, mate. It was really, really cool for having you on. As you said, you were the first guest on Lifting Your Spirits. I think it's only fitting that in this professional atmosphere that you were the one to kind of come on board, because I think after we done the first one, we were like, oh, we should do this again. We should do like a second part or something. So we have.
There we are. Yep.
For all you listeners out there, Jonathan O'Reilly can be found in his Crazy Bastard Sauce online, crazybsauce.com.
You got it right. You got the URL. Well,
And I'm all about the URLs, mate.
yeah. And you left out the www, which that ages you. Like,
It does age.
Only fucking.
If you want to find Jonathan's Crazy Bastard Sauce online, go to http // www. Or just send a self-stamped envelope to a PO Box 1047. So anyone listening out there, it would be fantastic if you could look at my stuff, www.comedianchrisdavis.com. I'd rather you go there because that's where everything is. That's where all the cool stuff is there. You can actually spend quite a long time on my website. There's podcasts, there's videos, there's cool photos, there's shows, there's
Like
tickets.
your own metaverse.
It's just who cares about Instagram and Facebook and all that? If you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, all that stuff is on the website, comedianchrisdavis.com. And I hope you've learned about sours. I hope you've learned about the story of others. And I hope you've enjoyed Lifting Your Spirits. Thank you very much for listening, and good evening.
Excuse me, where can I get myself a drink?